Hello, ladies, and welcome to Menopause Made Easy with Tanya. Today, just a short little episode of something that I have been intentional about over the last year because I can honestly tell you that before last year, I did not know these numbers. I didn't pay attention to these numbers. I'm not pre-diabetic or diabetic, so I didn't really feel I needed to pay attention to these numbers. But I am the CEO of my health. You are the CEO of your health. And we have much more availability to our health records now. And so I am one of those people that is all about prevention. And so I'm going to share with you today 3 blood tests that I think it is absolutely essential to get. There are others, but I'm talking about 3 today. And we're going to go over them 1, 2, 3. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, and that'll be it for today. Okay, so the next time you go get your blood tested, which if I were you, I would make an appointment so that you have a place to start, which is what I did in April of 2024. This is the first time ever in my life that I looked at with intention, my A1C. Oh my God, I can't speak this morning. HbA1c number. Okay. So this is a blood test that shows your average blood sugar, your glucose level over the past 2 or 3 months. Okay. And glucose is a type of sugar in your blood that comes from the food you eat, and your cells use glucose for energy. And my number, I will share with you because I don't really care, is 5.4. And so if this was to show up on your, your blood test, your doctor wouldn't even really probably say something to you because it's in the normal range. Well, when I looked at this, I'm like, holy shitballs. Over 5.5, sorry, up into 5.5, you're considered normal. But at 5.5 to 5.9, you are at risk. I'm like, I don't want to be at risk. So I'm like, what can I do to actually start to lower my HbA1c number? Because 5.4 is too close to at risk for me. So you decide about you, but for me, it's a little close. So I've got to pay attention to what I'm eating and how it's affecting my blood sugar levels so I can pull that number back down to, I'd like it to be around 5. Okay, that's what I'm aiming for. And so instead of oh my God, I got to weigh X number on a scale, look at these blood test numbers and use them to be how can I get this number down? What are daily actions that I can take to influence how to get this HbA1c number down? So this is the average blood sugar over the past 2 to 3 months. Now, listen, if you had a continuous glucose monitor, oh my God, hats off to you. That's amazing. That's real time. I have chosen not to do that. I really haven't asked about it. Maybe I will. I'm still thinking about it. But anyway, okay. So get your HbA1c. That's your hemoglobin A1c test done and see where you are. Because typically what happens is that you're not really alarmed until maybe you're pre-diabetic, but then a lot of times we'll be like, oh, you're diabetic now. Let's start this. Why do I want to wait until I'm full blown in a shitstorm before I do something about it? So again, that's up to you. I'm about prevention. I want a long health span. I'm going to live a long life. I want it to be vibrant. I don't want to be sitting in not being able to live my life the way I want to. Okay, the next one is fasting glucose. So fasting glucose, fasting blood sugar or fasting blood glucose measures blood glucose after you have not eaten for at least 8 hours. Okay, and it is often the first test done to check for prediabetes and diabetes. Again, why do I want to wait until I have one of those things? It's much easier to put storm windows on a house before a storm is coming then be like, oh, you know what? I think I'll wait until after and have my windows blown out of my house. It's going to be more expensive. It's going to be more time. You're going to have to input more energy. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get those storm windows on. Let's get my numbers organized here. Let me see where I am. So my glucose fasting is 4.9. Okay, so 4.9, it's supposed to be now, if you look up different things, I've done some different calculations, but I'm just going to go with my blood test from where I am, but they put like a reference range of 3.6 to 6. So that's pretty good, kind of in the middle. What could I do to get that down? So I've been doing some things, and I hate my blood being taken. I'm going to be honest with you. It makes me queasy. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I'm actually somewhat excited. I've booked my next blood test. It's not till November. I'm recording this in October. You're not going to hear about this till December, so you'll hear about my results later on. But I'm excited to see if what I have been doing has improved my numbers. Okay, and then the last one, let me just flip on my chart here that I want you to get tested, is your insulin fasting, your fasting insulin. Okay, and so an insulin test is a test that calculates the amount of insulin in your blood sample, and you fast. So for this, I fasted overnight I probably did like a 15-hour fast. I love fasting. It has absolutely changed my life. I've been fasting for 10 years, but in the last probably 18 months, I've been way more intentional. We do fasting in my midlife reboot. We have so much fun doing different fasts to heal our gut, heal our liver, drop fat, drop belly fat, heal our brain, increase our energy. And we do it as a community. So it's been lots of fun. So anyway, back to the blood test. You want to fast between like 8 to 12 hours. Also in my podcast, really go back and listen to, are you a sugar or a fat burner? Because we have two energy systems in our body. You want to be both. Primarily, we are stuck in sugar burners. We want to flip-flop between sugar and fat burner. I have had to teach my body to become a fat burner. And that's the other intention that I had about a year ago. I'll do another podcast on that. But I went and had, there was this, health expo, and I had my my body fat tested. I was like, oh my God, no. That for the shape I'm in and where I'm going in my life, I think it showed I have to look it up, but I think maybe it said I was 28% body fat. I'm like, that's not happening. And so I'm actually down to, again, this is October, 25% body fat according to my scale. I don't really get caught up in numbers, but I see a downward trend, and I have like 4% visceral fat. I have done episodes on fat. We're going to dive into how to reduce belly fat in some upcoming Menopause Made Easy podcast episodes. But anyway, I think it's important to have these numbers because they will really help you. So anyway, my insulin fasting number is 21. And apparently you want between 20 and 180. So bada bing. Like I'm at the bottom of that. Now, I'd really like to chat with my doctor more because I'm like, I want to understand the relationship between these numbers. I want to understand, why if my insulin is low, why my HbA1c is a little higher. Also, I had this test done in April. I was, January, February, March, kind of, what was I doing in those times? That's when I was in Savannah. I was definitely eating out more, drinking a little bit more. So it'll be very interesting. And this is why I think it's important to get it done like every 3 to 4 months, because you get an idea of the seasons, right? You get your summer, your fall, your winter, your spring. You guys all know the seasons. Don't know why I need to say that, but anyway, I did. And you really start to understand your cycles, because I can absolutely 100% tell you that I tend to eat different things in those times. I tend to do some different behaviors. In the summer, I'm definitely outside more. So how do my seasonal behaviors affect my numbers? And this to me is so much more important than the number on a scale. And if you are going to look at a scale, I implore you to know what your body fat is and your muscle mass, because a lot of us are under muscled and over fat. And anyway, that's another podcast. Alrighty. So you want to get your HbA1c, your fasting insulin, and your fasting glucose. I want you to know those numbers. I want you to understand those numbers. And then I want to empower you to be the CEO of your health. Okay. And what can you do about those? Is your mindset one of prevention, or are you one of those that is like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna like wait. My diabetes runs in my family. I'm probably gonna get diabetes. No, you know what? Diabetes is a lifestyle disease. It's a lifestyle disease. What you are doing right now, today, lunch, dinner, breakfast, how you're moving, how you're eating. I've done so many podcast episodes on this, is directly affecting your numbers. Okay. You may have a genetic predisposition. Okay. And I've talked about epigenetics before. Your genetics are the gun. Your lifestyle is a trigger. That's called epigenetics, very simply put. And you control your health destiny. Stop giving your power away. You are in charge of your health. So get these numbers, okay, and get honest with yourself about how your actions are affecting your health. And it is a lot to unwind. There is intentional work to be done. But I will tell you, as a former sugar addict, an emotional eater, a nighttime snacker, a over exerciser, a hot mess, okay, that when you understand your numbers, when you become intentional about what you want, when you become the CEO of your health and you take charge, you are unstoppable. And I am here to help you be unstoppable, because we are in a health crisis right now. It's a shitstorm out there. That is not normal. Okay. It is not normal to feel like crap. It is not normal. Okay. We have a right to feel joy and ease and fluidity of movement and superior health. And so I hope that I have empowered you to take some action today. And if you want to take this a step further, where you really begin to practice all the things I talk about and become accountable and motivated and in momentum and intentional and surrounded by love and support, that is what I do in my midlife reboot program. We talk about mindset. We talk about nutrition. We talk about movement. We talk about you and how you can thrive, okay, in your life. That's what we do. And so if you're ready, you can join me in my midlife reboot program. And if you don't want to, that's your prerogative. But if you do, I'd love to see you on the inside. Again, if this resonated with you, ladies, please share this with somebody in your life who needs to hear this message today. And I look forward to hearing your numbers. Share your numbers with me. I'm very curious. Lots of love and light to you all. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you from my heart to your heart for listening.